Hello, my name is Lenny Kitson. I'm coming to you from Channel 14. I served 4 years in the Navy, 4 years in the Army. I was an assault boat driver in the Navy. I used to take the troops ashore from a big ship in a little square boat, drop my ramp, let the Marines and the soldiers hit the beach, and I'd turn my boat around and go load up with more troops and constantly hit the beach. I got tired of that, so I got out of the Navy and I joined the Army. I was a machine gunner on helicopters. I crashed in 2 helicopters. I crashed in a Chinook. I crashed in a Huey. I spent a year in Walter Reed Army Hospital with malaria and problems that I had gotten from Vietnam.
Lenny we just gelled right away. We clicked. Maybe it was part of the thing that he was a vet. My dad was a vet, and you know, I knew him from the VFW as well, and my mom would see him over there, and she'd always be talking about, you know, things he would say or do, and we all know Lenny had a very interesting pizzazz about him.
He was a character. He was an absolute character.
He was a really friendly guy. I liked him. Easy to talk to, easy to work with. He was always in a good mood. He was willing to do things. That's one thing I think that was one of the remarkable traits that he had, was that he was willing to do things.
Lenny was one of those guys that whenever he did something for you, he never expected anything in return.
And I asked him if he would like to help out on the show. And he says, yes. He says, I want to help as much as I can. All I want to do is help people.
He was very full of energy. He had asked me if I needed a volunteer for the show. He would love to help out. And I thought that was great. You know, it was the kind of spirit we were looking for around here.
He was basically the cameraman, floor director, support coordinator, you know, just always ready to help out and do whatever he had to do, basically, on the show.
Well, I met Lenny here whenever I first started taping back in '09, and he and I we just hit it off as really good friends from that day forward.
Well, Lenny had come on to help out with whatever we needed, whether it be a camera or sound. And one of the talent people did not show up that night, so I asked Lenny if he wouldn't mind just playing a character for us. And he's like, sure, whatever you want me to do, Glenn. So we slapped a black afro wig on him and kind of a rodeo shirt, and we laughed for a little bit, and then he went on and just read his lines, and he did a great job.
And before we get started, let's meet our contestants. On my right is Lenny from Kenosha. Welcome, Lenny.
Yes, my name is Lenny. I'm from Kenosha, and I spent 4 years in the Navy, 4 years in the Army. I finished up with 12 years working for the government in North Chicago, and now I retired with 20, and I love it here in Kenosha.
Okay.
I'll take Charles W. Simeon for the win.
Congratulations, you are our winner!
He always had ideas or ways we could improve the station. He would always offer his money or van or time, whatever he could. He just loved Channel 14, and he would do anything for Channel 14.
Over the course of several months, whenever we needed somebody, we would give Lenny a call, and Lenny was usually Johnny on the spot right there. If he needed help, he was always there to volunteer. If you needed sweets or something to go along with the production, he was always there with sweets, or he always had sodas. He'd bring in sometimes an ice chest, and he'd just fill it up because he didn't know who was going to be here. So
He made jokes all the time, you know, and I loved the way he laughed.
He would always want to make people laugh. And I saw a segment on one of the shows where he kind of played a buffoon, but he really enjoyed doing it. And when people laughed, that's what made him happy.
And he just had a personality that we got along, because he was, you know, a great jokester, and you know, he just was very young for his age.
Every time we have a good-looking woman, he always had to come in and he'd flirt with him, and it was funny because he had a charm.
Well, he did he proposed to just about any woman that came on the show. That was automatic. He was already working on the women the minute they walked in the door. And that was one funny thing. Of course, we all know Lenny had about 3 or 4 girlfriends at a time.
First of all, being I spent 4 years in the Navy, 4 years in the Army, I want to send out a special Christmas to all the veterans. I've seen combat, but then I came home, got married 4 times, and then I really seen some combat.
Yeah, bet you did. But you know, he loved life and he lived it, and you know, it got to the point where he would show up and he'd do stuff for us, and was bringing my band to gigs in Racine.
Since I started working the show with you, I guess I've been hanging around with you now about 3 years, and every day is Christmas for me.
Yeah, sort of Christmas and Halloween.
Oh man, I'm working with Ray Rayner, I work with Tiny Tim, I work with Cookie, I work with a lot of celebrities in my time, but I finally hit the high point when I got on your show. This is the greatest.
Well, that's an honor, sir.
I enjoy traveling around with you. I enjoy your music and some of the trips you take. I like to get on the road with you. And remember,
It's like you just expect him to show up, you know, because that's how he always was. He was always here, or you'd always see him around wherever, and always had a big smile on his face. That's how I'll always remember him. He was always happy to help, eager to help, very happy, and just a great person. I mean, what he went through in the earlier parts of his life are, you know, just a testament to the man that he was.
Lenny's going to be remembered as a great contributor to Channel 14, a great supporter to this station, and just a good friend to everybody that was around him. And he was a good person. He did a lot for his country. He did a lot for vets. He loved animals, and he was full of life. And everybody likes Lenny. Everybody will remember Lenny and have a smile or a story to tell.
this is Lenny Kitson once again coming to you from the History Museum of beautiful Lake Michigan, and we're going to sign off shortly, but I wanted to remind you one thing. A lot of military people died and are missing in action, and we do this, we take care of them on Memorial Day. And I want to remind you that in many cases, Memorial Day started out with this, and it ended up with this. Thank you for watching the show. This is Lenny Kitson from TV 14.